Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drugs Milan Unboxing. Busy weekend, and South Africa is not lagging behind. We've got some tournaments going on this weekend, and the first one will, of course, be by Golden Gloves Promotions on Saturday night live on Supersport. On Sunday afternoon, there will also be a tournament presented by Rumble Africa Promotions in East London. Not quite sure what the TV situation is there, if any. There will be Luanda and Twanambi and Yanga Sikubo on that card. But what I'm going to talk about for now is what's happening on Saturday night on the Golden Gloves card. It's a difficult situation putting on boxing during COVID. A limited crowd is back for the first time, so they can return to their box and dine event. Some people like that format, some don't. For me, it's kind of hard to look down to food and then miss something in the ring. But it's a financial format that works because they can charge X amount per ticket. That ties into the casino, giving tickets to their punters as well. So I'm glad that it's going ahead and that the promoter is able to recoup some money. But all in all, it's been a rough ride. Scheduled for main event was Brandon Tyson against Rock Knapp in a rematch of the 4 at War semi-final, where Tyson overcame Knapp by 7th round knockout, and Knapp has come back from that so well with wins over Tristan Treater, Simon Bladla, and beginning of his year Benoit Makangila Vela, all of them by stoppage. And Brandon Tyson and trainer Damien Durant tested positive for COVID-19, so that fight is gone. But in steps a guy that I know really well. The first time I did some TV commentary on Kwese Sports, he was having the main event, the rematch of Johannes Sali, turned out to be a real war, and that's Cristiano, the warrior of faith, in Dombassi, who's based here in Cape Town. He's from Angola, Cape Town based, and he's a guy who's never had it easy in his career. He's never been the guy with a big promotional backing and consistent matchmaking behind him. He was thrown in tough from the get-go. So he's fought guys like Nkululeko, Mshlongo, Frans Ramabolo, Imani Colombo even. So he's used to being thrown in at the last minute and has to make do with what he's got at that moment in time, which as will be the case Saturday night against Rock Knapp. Now, and Dombassi is 12-5 with 9 knockouts. Knapp is 12-1-1, also with 9 knockouts. So although Ndombassi's got the spotty record, both of them have an equal number of knockouts. Both of them can really punch. Now, Ndombassi comes from a K1 background, a kind of kickboxing background. So he's got a very unorthodox style. He stands with his hands like that, and he's got almost a square stance, and he walks you down. You know, he's explosive. When he hurts you, he lets his hands go. Kind of similar to what Knapp does. But you can clearly see that martial arts background. He's not a jabber, he's not a boxer, and that's sometimes his downfall. He's kind of a guy who's a 6 or a nix these days, it seems. He was very a few years back at last notice against Imani Colombo, you know, who's clearly, I think, at the moment, probably one of the best junior middleweights on the continent, who gave Madrimov all he could handle. And he buzzed Colombo a couple of times there with right hands in that fight in East London before Colombo knocked him out. And in this year, so far, he's fought twice, so that's one good thing that Ndombassi can take to the ring there against Knapp. He won a close decision against Jamie Webb, giving him his first defeat, and then he lost, but I couldn't see the fight, but I've heard that was close as well. He lost to Lucas Ndafoluma of Namibia, who's an experienced campaigner. So he won't be going into the Knapp fight with ring rust. It is a last minute notice. I think also what is good for Ndombassi is Knapp is not a guy you have to go and look for. He's going to come at you. Now for Rock Knapp, because it's short notice, this fight is taking place at middleweight, and it will be for WBA Pan-African middleweight belt. So you've got to ask, Rock Knapp was all fired up to avenge his only defeat against Brandon Tyson. Now he's got Cristiano Ndombassi in front of him. That's a different kind of situation. Is because sometimes that causes a fighter to go, he's fighting a rematch against Tyson, it's Ndombassi, and then he deflates a little bit. It's a whole different kettle of fish, and he's expected to win. It's not that much pressure. He's expected to win, but conversely, it could be more pressure, because if he loses here, it's a big disaster. There's no pressure on Ndombassi. So how will that psychological aspect affect Rock Knapp? How will the fact that this is at a higher weight, at middleweight, affect Rocknap? Now, in Dombasi, he's usually for his career has been a junior middleweight, like Rocknap. I've even seen him go as low as welterweight. He didn't look good, in my opinion, in that fight when he fought at welterweight. I think junior middleweight is more or less where he should be at. So I think that's more because of a late notice thing. So I don't think the weight's going to be any advantage really. But Rock can, even when he knocks guys out, like when he knocked out Simon Dladla in a round, Dladla nailed him with a right hand coming in before he got knocked out. So Rock is hittable, and then Dombasi can punch. So you have to say Dombasi is in with at least a bit of a puncher's shot. So I think that fight is going to be interesting while it lasts. It's the last minute. I think Nap will have to be in a better condition of it too. So he's just got to be smart and not do anything stupid and run into a shot from Dombasi, who can be explosive, as I've mentioned. I think it's going to be a fun fight while it lasts. I can only see Rocknap winning this fight. I think there'll be tit-for-tat exchanges, and he might bleed a bit, he might get staggered. But I think in the end, he's going to be able to take Cristiano and Dombasi out of there. I think the fight's not going to go longer than 5 rounds or so. Now, we were also going to have a rematch between Zambella and Gabinyana and Ricardo Marachika. Once again, COVID-19 rears its ugly head. That fight is off. So up the ball moves a guy who I think we must really consider might be the prospect of a year for this year in South Africa, Shavonte Koopman, fresh over his win over Simon Dladla for the South African title. He's taking on another Angolan, Cape Town-based fighter, Henrique Lando. Now, I've seen Lando fight before. I've seen him against Imani Colombo. He was very brave against Colombo, kept coming at him, but he was just too small, didn't have a power to bother Colombo, and he got stopped. It was all hot. I've seen him fight Antonio Mayala here in Cape Town, where I was doing the commentary on the live stream. It's a fight that went under the radar, unfortunately, because it was a fight of a year candidate. Fantastic fight. But Lando once again came just short on the points. Now, he's a come-forward guy. He doesn't step back. He's not a technical boxer, but he comes at you. He's a pressure fighter. He swarms over you, and he goes to the head and the body constantly. And Koopman is more of a boxer puncher. He gets sucked into brawls, and then he goes back to his boxing again. And I think it took a while last time to get rid of Simon Dladla, who fought sort of gun-shy. He's not going to have to look for Henrique Lando. So I think it might be a fight that steals the show. I think it's going to be bombs away for as long as it lasts. And for me, I've got to go for Shavonte Koopman, the younger, fresher guy. He's technically, to me, just a little bit better. But if he takes Lando lightly, or if he gets sloppy with his technique, Lando is a kind of guy who can upset the apple cart. And I think it will be a very good fight. Almost like Koopman's fight with Jacques Mouvoud, the Congolese guy that turned out to be a cracker. I think it will be a similar sort of fight with Henrique Lando, although I do think it will be impressive if he doesn't. I think Koopman will. I think Koopman will get Lando out of there somewhere in the late rounds. It's for the vacant IBF Continental Africa belt. It's a regional belt that gets you into the ratings. Then we have heavyweights again. Wilhelm Newe, the almost 7-footer, a huge guy. We're so desperate for a heavyweight star that people have latched onto him because he scored a spectacular knockout 2 fights ago. And then against a much more seasoned Josh Pretorius, he was just all at sea. Wasn't impressive. Pretorius handed him a boxing lesson. And now he's taking on young Jean Verino Roux from Cape Town. Now, I've been at Roux's last fight also, ironically. And he's 4-0 now. He hasn't got the knockouts of a 5-1 Wilhelm Newe. He hasn't got that sort of punching power. He's not that big of a heavyweight. He's broad. He originally started boxing for losing weight, and he lost a tremendous amount of weight. He's still not a body beautiful, but boxing is not bodybuilding. He's a very busy fighter, and I think he's got a better all-round developed skill set than Newe has. He throws combinations to the head and body, steps around his opponent. His last fight against a tough Didier in Yembe, he won well enough on points, won every round, and he throws combinations upstairs, downstairs, head and body, steps around his opponent. He's very, very busy for heavyweight. Now, he's still far away from that level, and I'm not saying he ever will even be on that level, but I'm just doing a style-wise comparison before everybody kills me. You remember Michael Dokes, the former WBA heavyweight champion, who made a decent sort of comeback there, gave Evander Holyfield a heck of a fight. You know, he kind of reminds me of that. He does a rat-tat-tat-tat, almost shoeshine sort of combinations to the head and body on the inside. And I think the key here for Jean Roux to get past the huge Wilhelm Niebe is at a size and a reach disadvantage. It will be to control the distance. He's got to be all the way in or all the way out where Niebe can't reach him. So he's going to have to get in, get his combinations off the head of body, turn around Niebe and get out again before he does the next attack. Now, if he can do that and just keep going around and around Niebe, he can wear him down and he can win it on points, much in the same way that Josh Pretorius did. If, however, Wilhelm Niebe can pull finger in this fight and just establish his jab, have a consistent jab, and keep Roux on the outside and also go to the body. And if he can really get his game up, it could resemble George Foreman against the shorter Joe Frazier, where he just bounces a smaller guy off the canvas. So I can see those two scenarios. Wilhelm Niebe's power taking over and knocking out Jean Roux, or Jean Roux winning this one on points. It's very hard for me to see it another way, and it really is, at this point now, it's a 50-50 fight because of Niebe not looking so good in his last fight. And so it's also a big step up for Jean Roux. So I really don't know what to think of that clash, what's going to happen there. I kind of I can see Niebe knocking Jean Roux out. What he should have done against Josh Pretorius is go to the body more. I wonder if Alan Tawil can get him to do this in this fight coming. But, you know, it's all about conditioning, and it will be all about Niebe using what he has, which is not only his power, but huge reach and height advantage, whether he can use that. But I have a gut feel that Jean Roux is going to pull it off, and he's going to end up outpointing Niebe there. Because if Niebe can't knock him out and knock him down a couple of times, that's a big if. He's going to outwork Niebe. But we'll see. Maybe Alan Tawil gets the tweaks right. Maybe Niebe has learned his lesson against Josh Pretorius. It could be the kind of loss that's a wake-up call. That's a one fight where I really don't know what's going to be happen between Niebe and Jean Roux. Then we have got a nice prospect, Leilani Khumalo, also from Vusi Mtolo, there at Rex Ultimate Boxing Gym. He's 3-0. He's taking on a much more experience, or not much more, 3-5, 8 fights. That's about 5 fights more. But Tembani Mhlanga from Zimbabwe. You remember a while back, he gave Aiden Quinn his first loss. So he's the kind of guy who's tough. He's the kind of guy who can spring an upset. He's gone way more rounds than Khumalo has. So I do think this is a nice step up for Leilani Khumalo. You want the guys to gradually step up the competition, not the force sort of throw him in and sink or swim. So I'll be interested to see how Khumalo performs, but I think he's going to be a winner there. So that's what I think about Golden Gloves, the show on Saturday. Fights, unfortunately, is now reduced to 4 fights on the bill. But hey, I think there will be good fights, and afterwards you can still go and have a beer down at, I was going to say down at the pub. Maybe you mustn't do it with all this COVID. Or do whatever you want to do after the fights are done. Still have some of the evening left. So please give the channel a like and a subscribe. Enjoy your fights on Saturday night. And until we see each other again, remember to keep those hands up.